Hello there, good morning to you wherever you're joining us from. It's a Monday, a new week, but same dreams, same aspirations. A better world, a better Ghana, a better Africa. Thank you so much for tuning into Good Morning Africa. My name is ALORMASOR. I'm your driver for this segment of the show. My guests are already here, but before I introduce them, let me run you through the topics that we are discussing this morning. War, malnutrition, and disease follow Sudan refugees to the camp. This is an African story. Let's talk. EC tells NDC not street protest. The Daily Guide newspaper, this is their banner headline. Akufo-Addo sets up 5-member ad hoc committee on Galamsey. What's next? Millions paid for stadium renovations, yet CAF ban. Right, so these are the stories that we are discussing this morning on Good Morning Africa, the newspaper review segment of the show. Kindly do well to share your messages with me. I'll read them as the show progresses. A reminder that we are live from Asudesia number 48 Swanika Street in Abelink Bay. Also in 46 other African countries. You can watch us via satellites in some parts of Europe as well. But on the internet, you can connect with us at facebook.com/Pan-African Television. Make sure you leave a message. I'll read it in the course of the show. I've been joined this morning by Mr. Solomon Owusu of the Movement for Change. Solo, good morning.
Good morning, bless.
I trust you're fine.
Very well.
I have not picked your thoughts on the running mates.
The wonderful running mates
of the Movement for Change. I think the news broke on Wednesday.
Yes.
You were here last week, Monday,
Yes.
so I've not had the opportunity to ask you anything about it. I didn't see it coming.
Yes.
Did you have any intelligence and you decided to keep it to yourself?
Honestly, I didn't see it coming as well. But let me thank Mr. Lanchamanti for what he has done for the youth of this country by living up to his promise of appointing or selecting a youthful person, and not just a youthful person, an accomplished youthful person to partner him in election 2024. We have to gradually phase out the old system, but to do so, you don't do it improperly. You have to be deliberate about it. So Mr. Lantramanti, since last year, keeps saying that he's only a transitional leader. He has to step in to pave way for the youth to come, so that Kwame and his likes would understudy him and then take over fully for the politics or the dynamics of politics in this country to be changed. So when I heard the news, it came as a surprise to me, but I was extremely happy. Happy that at least we are beginning to have a politician who says something and decide to follow through and implement, and that for me is a good thing. And it's also a good thing for Pan-Africa, that here you have the right set of personnel who are working, and must also be an encouragement to all media men, and wherever and whenever anyone is working, that no matter what you do, there will be an eye that could identify your prospects and put you in a level that will blow your mind. So congratulations to Kwame, and I believe that now that he has come on board, those times I was the one doing butterfly here. Now I have my counterpart, he's my boss, so I'll have to fight for my boss to be the vice president, and it will be a good vice president for this country.
Great. Honorable Alex Egbefi is also here. Always a pleasure to have him join us on the show on a Monday morning. That's if he's not deeply engrossed in the campaign of the National Democratic Congress. But the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress is touring the Greater Accra region. He started yesterday, or he's continuing his tour of the Greater Accra region. He started yesterday. I think yesterday went to the English Amanfro Botiano constituency. He was in Weja as well. I think he rounded off it at La Paz. Yes, at La Paz. I mean, I saw it.
North, and then
He
did La Paz area, and then he went to Achimota.
So it's actually not. I wouldn't say it is gaining momentum. It has already gained momentum from what I see from both the NPP, the NDC. I'm looking forward to what the Movement for Change would also bring on board. The other political parties, Chedda's New Force, the PNC. By the way, the PNC too. The morning show has produced Another flag bearer. So Bernard Mona is
I mean, let me cover. But you see, in all this, you know what the movement has done?
Tell me.
So far, PNC has a candidate coming from up north. The NPP has a candidate coming from up north.
The NDC
has a candidate coming from up north. So it means these three candidates are going to sort it out. They are all going to fight for the votes up north. What it means is that the real determinant of who wins election 2024 will be South votes. And we are going with true Southness. You understand? That will be the defining moment.
The way Honorable Secretary is looking at you, he has a lot of reservations.
Because now, up now we have about 3 million votes, 3 to 4 million votes to be shared
by all these candidates.
Now we are talking about the voter register of about 18.6 million. So if 4 million out of it, so 4 people are going to share
the remaining 40 million.
And Manuela will definitely get votes from there. Then what happens? So this is where strategy is at play.
Right. Right.
Good morning, Bless.
Yes.
And good morning to your viewers and listeners, your cherished viewers and listeners. And good morning to my colleague from the Movement for Change and my colleague yet to come. Can I take this opportunity to first and foremost congratulate Kwame on his choice as a running mate to Alan Chamanting, Kojo Alan Chamanting, Honorable. And can I also congratulate Bernard Mona on his elevation, on his acceptance by the PNC as their flag bearer at this crucial time. So that is my starting point. I think that one thing I've learned over the years is that increasingly Ghanaians want their votes to matter. So much as I am sympathetic to the cause of the movement, especially in which the manner in which they came and the reason for which they came, which points directly to the ills of the MPP, I suspect that the floating voter, I'm not talking of the hardcore, the floating voter will invariably move the vote to the NDC for a number of reasons. We have a tried and tested product, and any comparison done with the major opposition party, I'm not talking of the new ones coming, flaws them in any shape, form or fashion. We are producing the first female potential vice president in this country, who has also come unblemished after having contested in 2020. To date, there's not a mark on her, even in one of the most difficult ministries in this country, which is the education ministry. So when people have to make choices and they are not prepared to waste the vote, I'm talking now of the floating voter, NDC is in a strong position. Then you take the so-called hardcore vote, and MPP zone is divided, because movement is born out of MPP. Let's be clear. Alan Chamanting is a hardcore MPP person. And so when you look at that dynamic, they have something to worry about. Because if the truth is said that, okay, NDC, and it's not true, but we'll go with it. Yes, NDC has 40%, MPP has 40%. So, or 45, so there's 10% floating voters. Then that their 45%, they should forget it all. Because movement has shaken the whole core of that 45%. They are either leading to apathy or a vote for the movement. A vote for the movement, or there will be apathy. So as for MPP, their headache is huge. And they know it. Then worse on top of that, they take your record and put on you. And when they put your record on you of governance,
disaster.
Abena, it's over. You understand? So when they are talking about this breaking, I just smile. Because just on a cursory look at all these dynamics I've mentioned, they have nowhere to hide. We just have to not, we all know that their aim, as they did in 2020, is to steal election. I mean, I don't mince my words anymore. 3 months to election, we don't do diplomatic talk. They want to rig the election. So we all have to be vigilant. All Ghanaians have to be vigilant to ensure that that game plan they have doesn't become. So I don't, even though I speak positively, I tell my people, don't be complacent. It is not over till it's over. Not because they are good or the people want to vote for them, but they have an ulterior motive in this matter. Good morning to all, and good morning to my brother.
Right. Just a good morning. Dr. Mazu, good morning. Good to have you on the show.
Sure, I'm so much happy to see my uncle, who has deserted us for some time, for good reasons anyway. Yes, for good reasons. So I'm happy to see you. And again, he had a field day. And my right-hand man, the man of the movement. Yes, Sulu himself. But let me congratulate the Vice President. So for this one, I can be your spokesperson. That's right. And lawyer. That's right. Spokesperson cum lawyer. That's all. Uncle, this one, you may reject me as your nephew. Okay. The truth is that Solo has never wanted to be a vice president. I know what Solo
I'm not
wants.
saying that he wanted to. I'm saying that people wanted him to be. Yes. But so now you see sometimes
Kwame is there and the people want is different from what.
Look, you may not eat palm soup, but if you are in his vicinity and you smell the aroma, eventually you taste it.
Anyway, sincere and big congratulations to Kwame. And I just like the generational difference. Electoral time means business. He actually wants a kind of generational compatibility in our democratic polity. And if Kwame, that I know, does very well, by the grace of Almighty Allah, in few days or months or years, he will be the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. Mark my words, days, months, or years. It might not be these elections that would produce him, but it is also a possibility for these elections to produce him as Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. I wish him all the best of luck.
As do we all. As do we all. All right, let me run you through the topics again. War, malnutrition, and disease follows Sudan refugees to the camp. That's going to be our African story. A lot of issues to discuss in Sudan. Let's talk ECTL's NDC North Street protest. The NDC, they plan a demonstration against Ghana's electoral body, the Electoral Commission of Ghana, tomorrow, 17th of September 2024. So all the district offices of the Electoral Commission, sympathizers of the NDC, are going to be there. Akufo-Addo sets up 5-member ad hoc committee on Galamsey. What next? So the issues of Galamsey have been in the public, domain for quite some time now. It appears now more than ever people have come to realize the devastating effects of this canker. We shall be talking about it. Millions paid for stadium renovations, yet CAF ban. If you pick today's edition of, I think, of one of the newspapers, the figures have been quoted, the exact amounts that have been paid to people to ensure that our stadiums are in pristine condition. But so far the reverse is the case. There's a ban on the Accra Sports Stadium. Not only that, every other stadium in Ghana, we can't host matches. Ghana can't host international matches here on home soil. So it means that our next qualifiers would have to play in Nigeria or some other country, not Ghana. Tamale is one of the stadiums that has been banned by CAF because it does not.
Of them.
All of them.
What are you talking
They do not meet up to the standards that are required by CAF. So all of them. And if you see the amounts of money,
So Bless, what is working in the country?
nothing.
What, I mean, a stadium.
Nothing.
We don't have one.
Nothing. Not even one.
No.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm trying to get the paper.
No,
the figures have been
And
quoted
that is
there.
supposed to be a traditional home of football.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So that's the
Nyafu.
that's the sad situation in which we have found ourselves as a country, to the very point that our very own Black Star. So I think 85 million Ghana cedis paid to Akufo-Addo's relative for stadium renovation, and then JFA also paid $260,000. They got $260,000 from FIFA for maintenance, but all of these have amounted to naught. All of these have amounted to naught.
It is only in Ghana that certain people they only give you mobilization, but others they pay you upfront.
Yes.
All are everything.
When they
do the job.
when their kickback is in, why wouldn't they pay you first?
Right. We'll get into our very first topic for conversation. We'll get to Sudan. There are lots of issues happening in Sudan, but it appears that now insult is being added to injury, if I should put it that way. Sudan's future generation is grappling with war, even as malnutrition and disease outbreaks follow them displaced to camps. Since August, Sudanese authorities have been battling a cholera outbreak, which has now spread to Kassala, Gedaref, and River Nile states, as well as Al Jazeera and Khartoum, where the first case emerged. Sudan's Ministry of Health has counted over 5,000 people with cholera, which has killed 191 others. A situation report by medical charity group said weekly cases of the disease multiplied by 4 from the second week of August 1. Sudan has had cholera, a waterborne disease, before, but that was during peacetime, and responses handled the matter in time. Wow. Now the war between the Sudan Armed Forces and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces is preventing adequate aid because it is forcing many to leave their homes. The menacing mix of heavy flooding and torrential downpours with woeful living conditions and inadequate access to drinking water that millions have today, particularly in crowded camps for displaced people, have created the perfect storm for the spread of the often deadly disease. Let me jump to this part, which says that since Sudan Displacement Tracking Matrix said an estimated 90% of IDP, that is internally displaced people, household could reportedly not afford food. At least 52% of IDPs were children under the age of 18 years old. Since the conflict escalated in April 2023, nearly 794,000 people, including 476,000 children, have sought refuge in South Sudan to the south. These new arrivals joined over 290,000 Sudanese refugees who had already fled to South Sudan in previous years due to violence. So, already there are issues, many issues in Sudan for them to deal with. Then there's an outbreak of a disease as well. Already the people cannot feed. And I mean, from the story I read, they said this isn't the first time they've had to face this, but they were able to manage it, of course, because it was peacetime, and so they were able to manage the situation. But now, looking at the situation, it appears that this thing may spiral out of control. Let me start with you, Solomon Owusu.
Yes, once again, good morning to your cherry viewers, and morning to our brother Doc. He came in when I'm in later time. We have been discussing Sudan. I think we have discussed more than 10 times on this platform. So the value is the same. Irresponsibility of two leaders who thinks power. They are so power drunk. General Hamiti and the other one. There's RSF and the regular army. What is power when that power leads to killing all your people? Are they happy when they watch television? And the most annoying thing is that all their children are, those leaders, their children are not in Sudan.
At all, they are not.
They are sacrificing innocent souls for their parochial interest. Unfortunately, we have African Union that is also toothless. Those that they are relying on, that is the external countries, they are also not having their interests. Rather, they want to see to it that the war is always present so that they can get the human resources from their country. So where are we going to? Of course, those of us that are not even fighting, we are grappling with such situations. Malnutrition, was it cholera and so on and so forth. So how much more those of you fighting? Cool heads must prevail. I mean, these two leaders must understand. The person for whose reason you are fighting, Al-Bashir, what is he? Because the RSF was created by Al-Bashir to defend him.
Yeah.
Sure.
But now where is he? He is not there. And you are still fighting. Fighting over what? And unfortunately for them, if you look at the countries surrounding Sudan, they are also not doing well economically. When someone runs away from Sudan to Ethiopia, the value is the same. Already they are struggling in Ethiopia.
From Sudan to South Sudan.
South Sudan, West, Eritrea, Bobo. So that is a huge problem. I don't envy my people in Sudan. I know if you know Sudanese, they are very African, eh?
Sure.
They think African. So for this to happen to them, it's so sad. We can only appeal to the conscience of these two leaders to know that the people that are suffering are not Ghanaians. Let's say you don't even want to consider all of us as Africans. You are killing your own people with your actions and inactions. So can't you give peace a chance? Eh? They should give peace a chance. And to the external forces, the UAE, the Egypt, and so on and so forth. We are talking about human lives here. I have said it that the first time I realized about 70% of police force in UAE were from Sudanese origin. I said, then what are they doing? They are so professional. So do you think for a moment that these UAE people, they have the interest of Sudan at heart?
No.
Because the moment there is peace in Sudan, they won't be going to that country. So they will be funded. Have you asked yourself, it is very expensive to buy ammunitions. Yet this RSF and the regular army are always having money to go and buy these ammunitions. Who are those giving them the funding? It's these countries. Go and kill your people. And then go and kill them. Let them give peace a chance. Maybe we have to begin to adopt our own way. We have Islamic clerics here and there. I think it's about time on the continent we have that eminent, strong religious people who begin to enter into some of these conflicts. Because the approach, recently in Niger, when the matter became escalated, they sent someone from Nigeria who traces his roots. I think it was an Islamic cleric or something, to go and deal with the matter. And when he went, they gave him all the ears. Because Africans, we all have people that we really revere.
Yeah.
And so let me add, a group of clerics
Yes.
was also sent.
That's it. You understand?
Yes. In fact, they actually they mediated.
That is it.
And found a solution to the threat of war.
So Sudanese matter, we must begin to have some of these leaders going, rather than the political solutions they are trying to use to settle the matter. And that the human beings, some of them could have been pilots, could have been clinical scientists, could have been all sort of human beings you could think, but they are dying. They are dying. Let me end it here. It's not good.
Right, Honorable Segbefia.
Sudan. You've even mentioned Ethiopia, Somalia, Eritrea. The difference in Sudan is that if they put the rest together, the money in Sudan is, the wealth of Sudan surpasses them 10 times.
Sure. Yes.
Sudan is about money.
Yes.
Any way you look at it, it's about money. And it's not about the African. Soro has asked the most important question. Which African country manufactures weapons? Where are all these weapons coming from? External interest is fueling what is happening in Sudan. And you see, African politics in general, because we do not have established infrastructure, strong infrastructural systems and infrastructural institutions, it is always open to chaos. As a result of that, two things disturb us in Africa: unbridled ambition and power. When you have unbridled ambition and power comes close to you, it becomes like cocaine. It catches you, and then you stop reasoning correctly. So that is what is these two leaders, forgive me, but they have stopped thinking about their people. They are thinking about how to be the one, how to be the head of state, how I'm going to control, forgetting about their people. The need to have power and control, forgive me again, is what has broken NPP. Because you couldn't even have credible, fair elections in your own house to the point that somebody decided, enough, it's enough. So it is not unique to our people. They're only that they fight their battles with guns. That is the difference. You understand? They fight because we have stronger systems here than they have. So that they've resorted to weaponry. And you ask yourself, why will an Ethiopian or a Somalian leave his country and come to Sudan? Mm-hmm. When you hear all these things happening, then what is happening in their country? But if you go to a country where if you are going to dig the ground to plant corn, if you don't take time, you touch diamond or you touch gold, it becomes lucrative to be there. Yeah. You know, they have water in abundance. They don't do galamsey because they are fighting. They don't need to do galamsey. The gold is there. So it's a big problem, my brother. And they are mining deep. The places where they are actually properly mining, there's no fighting there. Because people have got serious guards, all the countries there, and they are doing what they need to do. So, bless, we can only pray for our brothers and sisters. That sanity. The option that has come by my two colleagues makes sense. You either go down the religious. In our case, we went down chieftaincy. Mm-hmm. With the Dagbon one, we took Asantehene. With the other one, they've taken some other chiefs. So we have that option in our system. They may not have that, but clerically, they may have, if they are more of a Muslim community and less of a Christian, they can even all come together and go and get involved. Because the political solution does not seem, or the international one, does not seem to be working. And we can only pray for them and hope that now that disease has come into it, it's now become an international phenomenon. Anybody who travels from that town can be carrying disease. Yeah. Anybody who gets on a plane can be carrying disease. Yeah. So there are issues. Once it gets to the matter of health, everybody now must sit up and be alive to what may or may not come out of these scenarios that we have. But beyond that, when all else fails, some of us believe you should start in the beginning. Don't wait for it to fail. You must resort to prayer. And God has a way of solving his problems for us in his time.
Right. Thank you very much. Before I come to Dr. Mazouk, though, I've received quite a number of messages from our Facebook. Let me take time to read some of them. Aguma Sebastian says, good morning, countrymen and the panelists. Kwabena Mwako Frimpon says, watching live from Kintampo North. Okay, thank you. Nzore Kwao Isaac says, a very good morning to you, Bless, and your 3 Paramount Colossus panel. Watching you live from New Nzulezu. Okay, thank you. Kukubo Steven says, good morning, Pan-African TV. Good morning, Kukubo. I trust you're fine. Amisco Spelele from Kaswa, I see you. So do I see Komensa Pillar 2. Mohammed Gurum says, good morning to you all. I'm monitoring you live from Tamale. Good morning to the people of Tamale. Thank you so much. Good morning, bless, and salam alaikum, Dr. Marzouk. Parties will always craft and polish who they want as a leader, and will end up bringing up crooks like what we entertain now. Enough of the partisanship. Let's vote for a change, and the change is movement for change with Alan and KOD. Bibi from Accra, thank you, Bibi, for your message. Mr. Bless, good morning to you. We are ready to demonstrate, to show our displeasure about the current EC. We are not going back, and nothing can stop us to do so. My greetings to Honorable Alex Egbefia. My name is Alaji Ali Alassan from Bukrusung in Tamale. Okay. On that note, I turn my attention now to Dr. Marzouk, who would also share his thought with us on the situation in Sudan.
Good morning to you all, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh to the brother who wish me salam. Thank you so much. Sudan is unfortunately a victim of irony. It is a victim of irony. Right? An island of poverty in the sea of wealth. That's how Sudan is. Let me repeat. Sudan is an island of poverty in the sea of wealth. And it is not for nothing. It's not a divine design. It is a human design. You see, Solo has mentioned something, and whoever visits Sudan can attest to that. They are proud African spirit, highly African, and they belong to two main worlds of geopolitics, Arab world and the African world. And therefore, as they try to be more African than Arabian, that alone is tension. It becomes a source of tension. I don't blame the two generals. As for the two generals, none of them is a man on his own. None of them thinks for himself. Both of them are payees. I blame their paymasters. And their paymasters are the Arab world leaders. It is in Sudan that you can get convergence of interest by those Arab leaders, or some Arab leaders, who are diametrically opposed in other issues. But because they have a convergence of interest, they are together in Sudan. So we must blame their paymasters. Sudan is a historic country. In ancient days, Sudan was a center of economics, center of commerce, center of trade, center of education. And in the Arab world, Sudan has one of the best educational systems. They are well educated. Bless, won't you be surprised that even in their state, they give Ghana scholarships? Are you surprised? Our Ghanaian students are in Sudanese universities studying medicine, engineering, and other courses. I'm telling you, even because of the way they cherish education. So Sudan is not a poor country. The two generals have been beneficiaries of betrayal. And it is the same betrayal that is tearing them apart. Right. Both of them have been trainees and products of al-Bashir. And when civil disobedience erupted against al-Bashir, they quickly took advantage of the situation and ousted al-Bashir. Now one became the president, the head of state, and still controlling the army. At the time, he was the version of chief of defense staff. Yes. You see? So he became the military leader, the leader of the junta. Then at the other, who has never had any formal education, In fact, he's a nonentity. He's a complete nonentity, glorified and trained by al-Bashir in terrorist tactics. He led the rebellion. He led the bastardization of the Darfurians. He was, yes.
Then he's educated.
Yeah, oh no.
Educated in the wrong things.
Educated in warfare.
Let me say, he has never tested any constructive education.
Yes.
I agree. You understand that? So he is the one. Now he has decided. And you know why he is able to. At a point, he seems to overshadow the military, because the Sudanese military were never involved in these warfare. I mean, terrorist tactics against people, internal. No, they were not doing it. So even when Darfur was burning, Khartoum was a haven.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes. So they know all these tactics, and that is why it is difficult for the army to overpower them. That is exactly the case. You understand that? So now, the Arab world leaders, because they see wealth in Sudan, and I'm emphasizing your point, it is a very rich country, rich in culture, rich in education, rich in natural resources. Sudan. In their state, Sudanese are masters of mechanical farming.
Yeah.
In their states, because of their proximity, to the Nile River. Water is abundant in Sudan. Right? Life in Sudan is sweet.
And the color is still clear.
Clear, very clear. No problem saying. Because they have all decided, they have all decided to see it as their source of livelihood.
Yeah.
Right? So, my brother, Sudan is a very complex, issues of Sudan are very complex, and we should not just limit those issues to the confines of the Sudanese territory. Not at all. They are more than we imagine. So, 3 appeals. Number 1, and your suggestion is fantastic, because Sudan is about 99% Muslim.
Oh, okay.
Oh yes.
Yeah. I thought it was about 80-20, but no.
Yeah, you understand that.
It's a Muslim state then.
It's a Muslim state, Muslim majority state. In fact, al-Bashir was an Islamist. Yeah. He just wanted to, he had almost declared the country an Islamic state.
Yeah.
You understand that? Yes. So, and he even came and changed the language of instruction in universities from English to Arabic. Sudanese some time ago could speak very good English, because most of their universities, the majority of their universities, used English as the medium of instruction. You understand that? Yes. So al-Bashir came and said, no way, they have to revert to Arabic. It's not bad. I mean, it's linguistic pride. It's not bad. But I'm just telling you how Islamist al-Bashir was, and how he wanted to Islamize the entire country. But even that, there's still freedom of worship in Sudan. You see? So I don't do 3 appeals. My first appeal goes to the Arab world leaders, who are seemingly providing the weapons to stop they must silence the weapons and help build Sudan devoid of, in a manner devoid of parochial interests. Arab world leaders. I don't want to mention names. The second one is for the Sudanese themselves to realize that no matter how effective an external solution comes in, they themselves need to be ready for peace. They should do away with these 2 rebels in military uniforms and unite. The third one, since they are Muslims, I am referring them to the whole Quran. 2 things: patience and reconciliation. And the Quran tells it all. وَالصَّبْرِ جَمِيلٌ فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ. Patience is beautiful. وَالصُّلْحُ خَيْرٌ. and reconciliation is the best. Let me end by referring them to the verse that tells them that they are one community and that they are expected to worship their Lord and fear their Lord. وَإِنَّ هَذِهِ أُمَّتُكُمْ أُمَّةً وَاحِدَةً وَأَنَا رَبُّكُمْ فَاتَّقُونِ وَإِنَّ هَذِهِ أُمَّتُكُمْ أُمَّةً وَاحِدَةً وَأَنَا رَبُّكُمْ فَاعْبُدُونِ وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَيْكُمْ.
Hey! We've gone to Arabic class this morning. Right, still receiving messages. I see lots of you sending some more. Thank you so much. Keep them coming. It appears we have a little challenge. That's why you're not seeing the topics being displayed, but that is being rectified. Let me, if you do not know the number to text, let me mention it for you. 055-991-9802. 055-991-9802. Send me a WhatsApp message or send me a text. Alternatively, you can just go onto Facebook. We are streaming live. Leave a message. I'll read them as the show progresses. Kwashiga says, my name is Kwashiga Stanley from Odumasi. Please tell Mr. Segbefia that I like him too much. Reduce it if you think you like Mr. Segbefia.
On the tables of the president. What is
Me too, I like it, but I will
And when she comes, we will love her. Do much. Thousands much.
Excessively.
love to
Good morning to you all from Kuchuzongo Youth President, Ashanti region. I just want to remind all Ghanaians about the demonstration on EC's behavior in 2024. No one is against the name Electoral Commission, but the behavior of the workers and those at the top. If not, there will be something different altogether. Wallahi, it is a fight for Ghana, not NDC, MPP, CPP, or Movement for Change, or any other party. Let's work hard to live in peace come 2025. Thanks. Regards to Dr. Marzouk Salam. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I wonder why institutions like the Council of State, the so-called Peace Council and other religious bodies see nothing wrong with the packing of card-bearing members of a lawless and non-God-fearing political party to the EC, and yet we are expecting a free and fair elections by this same EC. We are not serious. Asanko from Santa Maria. Thank you, Asanko, for your message. Good morning, bless. God bless you and your great panelists. The people of Sudan must sit up and make Africa proud. Back in Ghana, the current leadership is a threat to our peace as nation and must be corrected. We will be on the streets tomorrow to protest the incompetent and party business of the MPP at the offices of the EC for our legitimate concerns to be resolved. Forensic audit at once. I have missed my boss, Honorable Alexander Percival Segbefia. Isaac from Ouija. You put the missings are coming from the wrong direction.
It doesn't matter.
Right, let's move away from the messages, but it appears that our viewers are already in the mood for our next topic for conversation. It has got to do with the Electoral Commission, the very fact that tomorrow the NDC would be demonstrating across the district offices of the Electoral Commission, some discrepancies that they have been able to see as far as the voters register is concerned. They're asking for a forensic audit, which it appears that the Electoral Commission of Ghana is not amenable to that. And people are wondering why, because to engender some form of confidence in the Electoral Commission of Ghana, we thought that all these things need to happen, especially when it is not their resources that would be used for this, for this audit. Let me start with you, Honorable Segbefia. The NDC tomorrow, across the district offices of the country, the issues in relation to the Electoral Commission of Ghana.
Bless. Much as it is an NDC demonstration tomorrow, we will plead with all and sundry who are Ghanaians to join and take part. because of lack of time, possibly there hasn't been the necessary collaboration, but the effect of what is going on affects all of us, because we need free, fair, and credible elections. And the instrument that you need to do that is a credible register. When we received the preliminary or the provisional voters register, we noticed 3,957, close to 4,000, voters who were in the 2023 register have been excluded or deleted from the 2024 provisional register. Then we compared the 2023 register again with the 2024 provisional one, and 2,094 voters transferred votes in 2024, but their details are not contained in the register. 2,094. The absent list from these respective polling stations, it calls into question the legality or the validity of the said transfers. We then went through the register and we found 243,000 votes who had transferred their votes in 2020 have been added to the 2024 register again as transfers, making it difficult to ascertain the real number of people who have transferred and creating a bloated register, because you've transferred and then you've transferred again. And we think that this is an anomaly that is unacceptable. And then about 15,000 voters had been captured on the EC's transfer list with no indication as to where they were transferred from. So somebody's been transferred. Okay, where are you coming from?
He doesn't know. No.
So there can be ghost names that have even been put on the register. Now, when you add all these figures, the first part is that the EC is saying that, oh, the reason we put out the provisional is for you to point out these mistakes and then bring them and then we'll fix them. So they themselves, have they checked their register? That's the first question that comes. You've put it out. We have told you that ABC. Why don't you quickly go and do some quick check? You rather challenge us in a meeting. Why will you challenge us? You said that, we told you that this person is not in the register. You punched the name and his position. You said, oh, he's in the register. And you thought you had solved the problem. And we told them that. Where is he in the register? Somebody who's supposed to say be in Tamale, his name is in Pusiga register. On the day of voting, is he going to go? In fact, he won't even know that he's in Pusiga.
Yeah.
He will just go to his polling station and he doesn't exist. Even if he gets to know that his name is in Pusiga, how is he going to leave that Tamale to get to Pusiga? He will drone. Maybe. He will send his fingerprint by drone. No. So there are clearly issues. And what is worse is that this is our preliminary findings. We haven't finished. So when the EC is saying, oh, do all and come and give us, we have given you preliminary. Go and check and see whether what we are saying there's some truth to it or not. Instead of saying to us that, oh, you bring, it's like you have given us homework. Meanwhile, you are being paid for your job. Why are you giving us homework? Yes, that is our duty, we must check. We've checked, we've told you that this is, and you see, we have to understand the history of where we are coming from. Since the 2020 elections, the EC has demonstrated clearly they don't know how to add or collate figures. They don't. We had 6 separate results. One very official in the final elections of 2020. They came with a result, they said, oh no, it's a mistake. They changed it, and then they kept changing it on their website. With this registration exercise, we showed different anomalies in the figures. Number of people they said were going to register, it didn't get anywhere close. We exceeded the numbers they were talking about. So every time they do forecast or even do actual figures, they get it wrong. And that for us is a problem. So when we pull out these figures, which all we said was, look, and you see, the audit is not new. In the past, the MPP have asked for audits on about 2 or 3 different occasions at different points. In the election process, an audit was granted them when we were doing the in court. The court granted. But when we did the biometric, they also asked for an audit. UNDP paid for that audit, and that was a different. That is what we're asking for. And an audit was done of the biometric register at the time. Before there's a third time when an audit was requested and it was refused. So it's not like audits, asking for an audit is new. But more importantly, they do not. This one is backed with our evidence. They are supposed to give us now our hard drive. We gave them the hard drive and said, give us a hard drive on certain issues that were raised. Unless it was done yesterday, we are still waiting. I don't know for that hard drive to appear. Bearing in mind yesterday was a Sunday. So I have my doubts. Maybe today, if we are lucky, they will give us the hard drive with all the anomalies and issues that they said we have already, and they were good. And the reason we want the hard drive is that when we went for the meeting, they told us that, oh, what they gave us, there were already some changes on it. So we gave them back their own hard drive. Give us now the new one with all the changes to let us see. And we are still waiting for the updated one. Because they now have to start looking at all the things we are saying and try and do some updates very quickly to try and show that they themselves have recognized. But why are they always getting it wrong? And all we are saying is that, look, fine, it's a human institution, there'll be so forth. If it was 1,000 here, 50 here, 20, we will say, okay, just go and change it. No, we are talking of huge numbers. In this country, 2008, the third round, President Mills won election with less than 50,000 votes. Yes. So if you have 243,000 unaccounted for issues, it makes a big difference to the victim. People will with 500,000. But if 243,000 moves, what people don't realize in election is, if Solo has beaten me by 100, I only need 51 to beat him. Yes. I don't need the 100. Because I'm taking the 50 from his own. So he drops. As I gain, he drops. So it's half plus 1. That's right. And then you have 1. So when somebody wins with 500,000, you need 250,000 or 250 plus 1, and you take him because the votes are coming from him. Yeah. That's the way it works. So people should not look at these figures as if they are small. You put them together, all of a sudden, you can have a change in the fortunes of an election. So please, easy. We are not against you. And you see, when people say easy, sometimes it's like the police and the military. The people at the top are misbehaving, or a few bad eggs, and then you paint the whole institution because there's the leadership. Yeah. But there are good eggs in the EC who are very upset with what is going on. We know. They talk quietly behind the scenes. But it's the top who are always taking this adamant position. Why? We are not saying we are come to do audit. Give it to an independent person. The person will go through it and then we'll say A, B, or C. This is correct. If we are wrong, we'll get egg on our face. We say, okay. But then people go into the election feeling our questions have been answered. If it comes up and there are many anomalies, it will still be rectified. Then we are, it's okay. We've been listened to. Let's go ahead. But this adamant stance, we won't do. It will not help us. It will not help us. And the tension in this election is very high. We always have tension at election times. But when I look at the sub-region, I look at what's happening in other countries, look at what is even happening in the United States, and all the game, you don't have to let certain things become issues. Just quickly go see that, and there's rumor that even the donor partners are happy to fund it, so that there's peace of mind of people. We need confirmation of that. If that is the case, then I don't see why there's any reason. Why? If they come today and say that, look, this person is come to fund it, we are going to have an audit, blah, blah, blah. It can avert, in inverted commas, it can avert the demonstration. But if they do last minute, 8 o'clock in the night matter, they'll see us on the streets to get a message. This is wrong. It's a simple issue. let us deal with it. Thank you.
Right. So I think it was last week, somewhere, I think on Friday or Thursday or so, that the EC held a press briefing to address some of the concerns raised by the NDC. It's a long read, but let me move to point 15 of what the Electoral Commission said. It says, we entreat the NDC to trust in the EC to correct discrepancies in the provisional voters register. This current leadership addressed this ahead of the 2020 elections. It is relying on the same process to correct any discrepancies in the register. They also made mention of the fact that, look, the voters register is self-auditing. So you don't, it's self-auditing because they
I'm sorry to be unconventional.
Yes,
so I shouldn't be questioning.
Yes, so they bring out the register and they allow you to see it, and when you see it and you are able to come across any discrepancy, then you notify them and then they work on it. So I mean, this is basically their reason for not wanting to open themselves up for an audit. And I don't understand why that is, especially when the resources going to be used for this audit is not yours. And the very fact that a section of Ghanaians have lost confidence in the Electoral Commission. So this should be something that would...
But the survey was done.
Yes.
And it should declare that the EC is one of the people that people don't trust.
So this would have provided a perfect avenue for them to
get their credibility.
Yes, to regain their credibility. Let me come to you, Dr. Marzouk.
Right. So,
You cough.
yes, I have to. Yes, it is a coughing matter. But I have to cough. Yes, this is not the ayurvedic cough. Yes, yes, this is a genuine cough. Bless. Elections are the souls of constitutional governance. Constitutional democracy itself is a living being, and the soul of it is the elections, presidential and parliamentary. The soul, the soul of constitutional democracy is the credible, independent electoral, the oxygen of that soul. The oxygen of that soul is the credible, independent electoral commission. So it is in the interest of everybody for Ghanaians to have a peaceful, accountable, transparent electoral commission, so that the confidence level will be high. It is only through elections that the man in the street and the man at East Legon, the man at Agbogboloshi, and the woman at Jolo, the man in Tamale, and the woman in who can decide. Only elections can decide. Apart from that, only few will decide for us. But when it comes to the election, it is an opportunity for all of us to be inclusive and to be given to participate. So it is a very serious matter, and that is why it shouldn't be in the national interest for anybody or institution to be allowed to use any kind of statistical gymnastics to subvert the will of the people in the conduct of democratic elections. We should not allow that. I am not a politician, but what is wrong with doing the audit? What is wrong with that? Is it too costly? If it is too costly, we should be ready for that, because we have decided to be ruled by constitutionalism. We should be ready. If it is too costly, we should be ready. Is it a matter of time? I strongly believe that in this era of technology, time cannot be a factor. So it is a matter of will. And I strongly believe, look, if it should be done to regain public confidence in the Electoral Commission, it must be done. So I do not see why the EC is running away from the audit. I can't see it. I am appealing to the EC to accept the audit. In fact, the audit would have prevented this demonstration. This is not to say that the demonstration is not right. No, demonstration is one of the legitimate weapons of dissent or expressing concerns in democratic governance. So NDC still has the right to go on and demonstrate. But I think the EC could have been proactive to allow the audit. Two, I also want to appeal to Ghanaians to still have confidence in some of these state institutions. Let's still do whatever we want to do to make sure that they are accountable, but let's reserve an iota of confidence. I'm saying this because look at the way, with all humility, the Attorney General was bent on jailing the minority leader. Yeah. Everybody saw it. Everybody saw it. And whether it was a perception or reality, the view that emanated from the conduct of the Attorney General was that the state, and by extension the government, were doing everything possible to put this gentleman in jail. Many NDC people didn't trust the judiciary, and they said it on many platforms. But what happened? It came to light that, as you had actually said, we still have very good people, even in bastardized institutions. The judiciary spoke against the will of the powers that be. And as we are speaking, I don't know the state of the law, but my little understanding of the case is that the minority leader is discharged, right?
Yes.
Discharged. Against the will of the powers that be. So that tells you that in spite of the lack of public confidence in the judiciary, there are people, there are still patriotic Ghanaians within the judiciary who can still act in national interest. So let's not completely bastardize the institutions. Number two,
they want to appeal it
then. Look, they should go and appeal.
Serious criminal jurisprudence in that matter.
Yes.
Because a senior court has acquitted and discharged.
Yes. And you want to appeal?
In a criminal case, whether the appeal can still go on because it went there. It's serious criminal jurisprudence, but I digress. Apologies.
Yeah, no problem. It's good. Your digression enhances. It enhances the quality of my submission.
Yes.
Right. And it is true. Let's see. At the end of the day, whatever they do, will deepen the culture of constitutionalism and the rule of law. But I strongly believe that if it is not the will of Allah for the minority leader to be jailed, no matter the level of the sophistication of legal gymnastics, he will not go to jail. I strongly believe. This is to tell us that no matter our positions, we should still have confidence in certain institutions. I'm not saying that we should trust them, but there is a possibility that some of them are still trustworthy. Then the second one, Charlotte Osei, no one from the presidential candidate to the last messenger of MPP trusted her. No one. In fact, so I'm sorry to say this, but I want to believe that you didn't trust her.
I never trusted her.
You understand that? They bastardized her. In fact, to the extent of to a level that became an affront to womanhood in this country. Yet she brought a verdict that ensured transfer of power from their opponents to themselves. So this piece of advice goes to MPP. The first one went to NDC. This one goes to MPP. Look, no matter how you hate a person, you dislike a person, you refuse to accept a person, still have the mind that it is possible for the person to be compelled by the Supreme Being to act in your favor. So on this note, let me say that we have a very big challenge And the challenge, that's the solution to that challenge is very simple. One, simply, NDC should go to the street to demonstrate within the confines of the law, within the confines of rationality, within the confines of civility. And if possible, and I know very well that it is possible, my own, it is possible. Not the political, it is possible.
It's possible.
I know that it is possible for the EC to carry out the audit in the supreme interest of the state. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much. Let me read a few messages before I come to Solomon Owusu. Okay. Good morning, my brother Bless. I hope the religious bodies are in this country, especially the Christian Council, Muslim Council, Traditional Council, all religious bodies and other churches with COP and Peace Council leading them. And I hope the problems about Ghanaian voters, voter register is ringing in their ears. I believe they will be silenced if Nanado, MPP and EC boss plunge their peaceful country into catastrophe. Kofi J from Ablekuma. Thank you, Kofi J, for your message. Good morning, host. To audit or not to audit? That is the question, like Shakespeare will put it. To audit or not to audit?
The answer is to audit.
Is the dilemma of the ghosts who are hell-bent on rigging the aid through illegal transfers, irregularities, violence, voter suppression, ghost names, multiple voting, double registration, and so on. Why reject an audit when they have nothing to hide? I smell the elephant. Pa Willie. Thank you, Ken Williams, for your message. Please place the topic you are discussing on the screen for the viewers to also contribute. From Amos in Asinfo. So Amos, we've always done that. Unfortunately today we have a little challenge with it. It's going to be rectified as soon as the show is done. So please make do with us. But if you want to know the topic, which I said a couple of times already, I can repeat it for you. We are discussing the Electoral Commission and the planned protest of the NDC, which is taking place tomorrow, in view of some discrepancies that the NDC has noted as far as the voters register is concerned. So this is what we are discussing. Make sure you send in your messages in relation to this topic. I'll be more than glad to read it. This one here says, good morning, bless. Okay, I think I've done this one. Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm says, good morning, my brother. The EC is claiming that they have solved all the issues raised by the NDC. The question I want to ask is, why are they refusing to give out the correct version of the voters register to the NDC to cross-check? My brother, I remember under Madam Charlotte said the MPP led by Dr. Baumia claimed there were 80,000 of Togolese in our register, and for that matter, the register should be audited. They were granted that, and a 5-member committee was set up by Justice Crabb. So what has changed today? You remember Bosman committee, but you remember Bosman Asare publicly said that the NDC is a danger to the democracy of Ghana. To look at the body language of Stephen Tete, also telling us there were plants and animals in the 2016 voters register, and why didn't the NDC complain? This is a serious insult and a slap in the face of the NDC party. These people cannot be trusted. The demonstration is the best way to go. Come on, come all. Thank you very much, Alhaji Hamza. Always a delight to hear from you. Good morning to Hamza, right. Good morning to Stephen Peng, who is doing the watching from one of our dedicated viewers. Good morning, Stephen Penn. I trust you are in fine fettle. Good morning, Bless. I think the rise and fall of Ghana today is in the hands of 4 people: the EC, the Peace Council, the National Security, the Judiciary. Unfortunately, all these people are politically biased. From Kwame Ofosu from Brekum West. Thank you, Kwame Ofosu, for your message. Let me take some time and do 2 more messages from Facebook. We have received a number of them. Hamdallah Matar says the EC have done many things to make us not trust them. Elections are a process, not an event. They refuse to do registration at the polling centers, contrary to their own centers, which requires that it should be made easy to register. They bloated figures during registration, supervised corrupt transfers, and now the register is clearly corrupted deliberately. This is to make people not find their names and bring confusion to bring in the NPP vigilantes. Silvanos Mauricio says, our misleaders remain naive about how our African land is being taken away from the black people. Okay, thank you so much for your message. I think I've read this one. He sent it through WhatsApp. Now let me. Okay, this final one from Inzori Kwao. Isaac says, massive congratulations to KOD on his new chapter of life. The road might seem to be rough and tough, but your dedication and willingness will let you thrive through the storm. May the eagle eyes of God keep watch over you. All right, thank you for your message. Mr. Owusu.
Yes, so let me say that the movement for change agrees in principle with the position that has been taken by the National Democratic Congress, calling on the Electoral Commission to have a voter register that is credible and robust. I mean, the basis of any election is to have a credible register. If you don't have a credible register, you won't have a credible outcome, and that will be the beginning of our confusion. So we agree with the National Democratic Congress. We have not been here. We are referring to the movement, and for that matter, Mr. Alan Chamati has not raised issues with the electoral register because, as we speak, we don't have a copy of the register. The register has only been given to the political parties. The architecture of our electoral system favors the political parties, but we will win this election to realign the electoral system so that
You mean reset?
we will transform. We will transform.
All right.
We will transform.
A matter of semantics.
Gymnastics.
That's why I have some lunch.
That's why I'm your nephew.
So, because if we were in the possession of the electoral register, probably we would identify more than what the NDC has identified. So on that score, we agree with them. We are, however, unable to join the demonstration because of how they themselves has closed it to
How
the
you don't have it?
Because we are independent. I mean,
Are you entitled to the register?
they said after tomorrow that they are going to bring the final shortlist. All these things have to be, look, we have inter-party advisory committee. There is no room for any individual candidate to even make input. But as our electoral system develops, and some of these things, they never envisage there will be a credible independent candidate contesting in the future. Here we are with Alan, the colossus in our. How is it that Ekweadanko is able to go to IPAC? You know, one of the things that they are doing with the Electoral Commission, and this one is not to undermine or disrespect Ekweadanko, but for Christ's sake, it's a serious business. Now, what they are doing with Ekweadanko, which used to also be the case in the past, is that serious matters at IPAC. It's arranged. The boss must be very careful. When it comes to the crunch, let's listen to Ekweadanko's version of. Let's give her the chance to also contribute. Then she will start. And this is what I'm going to and I'm going then she will say that just to diffuse everyone.
Theatricals.
I mean, for Christ's sake, why did Ekweadanko get the money to go and file? 100,000 in Ekweadanko? Hey.
Is she filing this time?
She has filed. Strategic reason, they have given her money to go and file. And I always, deliberately, when it's hot, they invite her. She will just come and destroy everything that we say. And afterwards, if Ekweadanko is saying this, let's go with that.
Let's vote.
And Ekweadanko vote. If it's not Ekweadanko, Apalu is also there. So you have a lot of mushroom political parties parading us. Political parties making crucial decisions for you and I. And that is why we are where we are. So I agree with the NDC that we need, in fact, every Ghanaian, including the new Patriotic Party, you are campaigning to win an election. So at best, you want a credible register. I'll be very surprised to see or hear the NBB say that they are not in favor of this, the call for an audit. What has the Electoral Commission got to hide? In fact, that would have afforded them the opportunity to establish the point that they are so credible. If the auditors go into, you understand? If the Electoral Commission, if an independent body comes in, goes into the register, and finds out that there was nothing untoward happening to the register, wouldn't it put NDC in the banner? Then we will take the NDC serious again. So this time around, the NDC is even shooting itself in the foot. But here we have an electoral commission telling us that if you have identified more, bring it. A register that is in your custody. Is it not madness? How do we educate ourselves in this country? You are in the custody of a register. Now, the magnanimity, and here let me thank the NDC as well. They have done a good job for being able to identify 38 people who were illegally transferred. Lawyers say fraud vitiates everything. Even if it was one person that was identified in the register, the common sense, I have always been preaching common sense approach. Forget about the big titles and books. Common sense approach is that while they detected, the Electoral Commission should have rather called for a stakeholders meeting and propose that with this, let's call for an independent body to audit our register so that all sides would agree. It shouldn't be coming from the NDC or the Movement for Change. Now, Tete, you know, he's someone that I've respected so much in the past. But what he said last week, I took all my respect back. If you give me any reason to take my respect, I will take it. I should reserve small. Well, from my brother, I reserve small. How can you justify this current situation by saying that in 2016 there were pictures and names of trees
and animals and
but you compiled the register, so if there were animals and trees in there, you put them in? Is that something that an adult you must tell us? No, they shouldn't be doing that. You see, election, no, this election we are going into, one will win, one will lose. Ghana will not come to an end. We will still live our life. After President Kufuor, in spite of all the things that he assured some of us when we were in opposition, that when it comes, he will fight corruption. Corruption has rather fought him. Everywhere corruption. Now he has no respect anywhere. The last I saw him eating in the public. I mean, now he has turned the whole presidency into a joke. You go into the public, now he's eating cake for everyone to see that he's down to it. That is not why you were brought, Mr. President. You said you were coming to fight corruption. Corruption has fought you. Look at the shame with our sports sector. That throughout the country, we can't have a single stadium hosting an international match. Meanwhile, we have expended so much, close to 100 million Ghana cedis, on the pretext of fixing our dollars. Just recently, $245 million went to the All Africa Games. Yeah. If for nothing at all, any of the stadium could not host it. It should be the University of Ghana Sports Stadium hosting our international matches. Yeah. It's a shame that we are having to go and rely on Togo or Cote d'Ivoire or any other country. So why do you need any other argument that this is a failed government? But they want to compensate for their failure with manipulating the Electoral Commission. The 38 names that were transferred from Stamale South and Sanrugu to Pusiga. I just checked the electoral figures, the 2020 parliamentary results for Pusiga. The difference was only 63 votes between the MDC and the MPP. So that must tell you that it's not a deliberate thing. It's not a mistake or an accident. Yeah. It's a deliberate thing.
Yeah, it's not an accident.
That they want to send those names there, and mind you, there are people that they have, as it were, done ID cards in the names of those that have been transferred in Pusiga. So what else you will go to? Either Tamale South, if your name is there to go and vote, or Sanregu, that you will not find your name. It's not as though nobody's going to vote for you. There is someone in Pusigana, they have done an ID card in your impersonation that will be voting for you instead there. To make sure that this 63, well, like he said, if the difference is 63, all that the person needs is about 34 votes. But he would have taken 34 from you, and then that becomes an addition. So they would do that. The last time they caught that guy with the BVD machine, which area did they see the machine? Was it not in
yeah.
Go there and check the electoral difference between Adodompre and
the NDC's candidates.
a constituency that the MPP was winning with a margin of about 10,000, it has reduced to 3,000. And you go and see a BVD machine there, and they think it was just a go. They have used it to do whatever they want to do. And because they know the tension in the system, they say, oh, let someone just, they go and find a lunatic to be holding it. You arrest him. What is the guy? The guy has not been left off the hook. In fact, the guy that did the illegal transfer in the north, is he not on bail? Is he not walking about? So why are you behaving as though we don't know what we are doing? You understand? We would wait patiently for our register, which will be provided to us after Tuesday. We will be with the NDC in spirit on this election, protest. You go and come. By which time we would have identified more. Then together we will sit down and plan a proper nationwide strike. This one, you have decided to kick us out by calling on only NDC supporters to go and also wear their t-shirt here and there. I'm not an NDC person. I'm a movement for change. My candidate is Alan Chamati. We are not playing second fiddle to any candidate. Are you with me? So we would wait for them. In any case, there is nothing wrong with the NDC collaborating with the movement for change. And I find it very difficult that they miss this thing. You have the benefit of the register. You have identified issues. At best, you must call the movement for change and do a presentation to us. We are all on the same page and join you. Don't be afraid to collaborate. NDC, we are in opposition. We are in opposition.
It's a time factor issue. Today's Monday.
No, but at the time that you saw this thing,
we saw this thing on Thursday.
And you could have that. How long would it take?
So just come and join us.
No, we will not. When we join, we have the masses. Our numbers are too huge, and people see the numbers. They will be under the illusion that all these supporters are NDC supporters. By extension, they will go and vote. It's a psychological business. We would be at when we are properly consulted. You come with our yellow army. The yellow CC will be on the field. So yes,
I think they are in their opposition in opposition.
Opposition.
And you are opposition in government.
The butterfly has entered into the So you see,
so you are more effective.
No, we are going to deal with it, but you will not allow anybody to stop. As for J. Mensah, the thing is that there will be a forensic audit of the register. What they are doing, they are only buying time to, as it were, self-introspect. They want to self-correct some of the diabolics. And even it's not about the register itself. It's about the access code, the IT system. How easy people are able to enter. It has to be made known.
There are two audits. Audit of the process system and an audit of the register.
That is it. Because you see, if anybody can just enter into their system,
yes,
they will manipulate things.
And we know they entered it last time.
You understand? I am beginning to suspect that there is missing data with the EC, and that is why they are preventing an audit. What is an audit?
Yeah.
Why must this even be a subject matter for discussion?
For national tension.
But because they have done something on Toronto, he said, come and say that, hey, NDC stop the demonstration. Come and let's talk. Talk about what? Hey, if you are going to be calling NDC to be talking and then bribing them, we don't take bribe. But that's why they say you should come. They have been given a budget of almost 800 million.
What bribe are we going to take?
No, let's do it.
They are winning election.
They have been given a budget of 800 million, almost 800 million cedis. That budget miscellaneous is part. It is that miscellaneous they use to bribe people. Anyone that talks, easy say come and sit down.
My brother,
sit down what?
If they cut your nose, your face can still be there.
That's right.
This one they are cutting your neck.
This one
you'll be dead. So there's no bribe in this matter.
If they finish with you, they will not finish with this. Jane, you know this one carefully. She didn't address the press. She made Tete to do that.
Yeah.
Jane Mensah is beginning to feel the heat. I'll plead with her. She's a woman. All of us came from a womb of a woman. And so we cannot. I've said that anytime I see her with the military, I am so embarrassed. Now why must anybody even harbour the thought of going to harm her? It must not be. So, Madam J. Mensah, don't give anybody the cause or any reason to think otherwise. Let's just make the voter register available for independent audit. Even independent audit, we will have representative there also supervising the independent audit. We cannot leave anything or any stone unturned, as Alan is set to make history in this country.
Right, thank you very much. 9:45, we do not have so much time, but there are two very important topics. 5 minutes each would do. I hope you guys should know how to attack both issues. First of all is the issue of Galamsey. A 5-member ad hoc committee has been set up by the president. The question is, to what end? That is the question that a lot of Ghanaians are asking. Then also, more than 85 million Ghana cedis was paid to a relative of the president for stadia renovation. But as it stands now, none of our stadia is fit for purpose. There's a CAF ban on all of them, and so international matches. Ghana's next group game, I think we are playing Sudan.
Yes, Sudan.
We are playing Kwesi Appiah Sudan. It's not going to be held, may not be held here in Ghana if drastic actions are not taken. Very, very serious issue. I think it was yesterday, reports came out that the Accra Sports Stadium, the urinal had to be closed, and so if you went to the Accra Sports Stadium to watch football and there was a need for you to use the restroom, you can't, because it was closed. The place was so bad, it was so terrible. Imagine going to Old Trafford or the Bernabeu, and then the urinal at the it's a disturbing issue. Let me briefly start with you,
so
Mr. Osu.
That is why Alan proposes that our sports infrastructure, there has to be private sector involvement. The way and manner we manage our facilities in this country. So sometimes I wonder why government busy itself in putting up structures. Within a matter of a year or two, everything is gone. We have put up 5,000 seater capacity stadia in this country, according to this government. All of it in a bad shape. Some of these AstroTurf that they put up, you go, it's an eyesore. So why do we collect revenue and go and just throw it away? We need a different mechanism, and that is what Alan is proposing. Bring in the private sector to partner government so that they can manage our facilities very well. Again, it also exposes lies in government. You know, when you lie, CAF will expose you. Just recently, the MPP launched this manifesto in Takrady, and if you read the manifesto, they made mention of the fact that they have expended so much in renovating the stadium in this country. In fact, they mentioned Babayara, Accra Sports Stadium, Esipon, and I think Cape Coast, that they have renovated it. That was just 2 months ago. You lied and CAF has exposed you. If you have a renovated youth stadium, why can't we get just a single stadium to host our matches here? It tells you that it does not pay to lie. You must always be truthful to the people. In terms of Galamsey, it's a total waste of our time. The last time it was about 10-member committee, interministerial committee on illegal mining, is that not the case? Headed by Professor Frempong Boati. There were 10. When the chair of that committee wrote a beautiful report citing people like Gabi Asaro, Chidako, Nitego, Protozo, now they are calling him as a Galamsey in Shum, Koda. Captain Koda has been part, Kodo Ponkruma has been an assign, what's the name? Wound to me, that Galamsey Kepe was able to show good for the first time in our life, show good on live TV. The youth organizer for Buakwa Chebi, who was busily doing Galamsey behind the house of the president himself. Who else? Kwakuba Koda called to intervene. And so these names are with the president. Look, in that report, Professor Frempong Boati was so clear that the ministerial committee, only 2 ministers were helping him, the sanitation minister and that of the local government. In that committee, the defense minister was part, the national security minister was part, the information minister was part. Who are those constituting this committee? Is it information, national security, defense, and who else? No, as a natural resource. They have been part of the previous committee and they didn't do it. Look, this Galamsey, let all Ghanaians go to the Jubilee House and tell Mr. President, you have got enough gold. Stop it! Why are those being responsible in this country? He's supervising the Galamsey in this country. He gave us LI 2462 that allows people to go and mine in our forest. Who? And here I blame the opposition party as well. How could you have passed this bogus law? That you should go and mine in our forest? Catch us at 137, 137.
Why bring brought the ambulance? What are you talking about? You know how the system is.
Then we have a parliamentary candidate, Wassa East. Wassa Memphis East. He goes to meet Galamseyers. He tells them that when you go to the forest and you see any military man try to prevent you, slap him. Because the president says we are not fighting Galamsey again. When he was saying that, the regional minister was giving him backup. What sort of system is this?
And the regional minister is the head, the chairman of the security.
Yes, that's it. Look,
The RECSEC.
the Bosomefra MP that DC that the president sacked.
He was even smiling.
Yeah, something. That guy was said on tape describing how Galamsey has been going on. Has he been prosecuted?
No. Right.
So, Alistair Matthias, he tells us that President Kufuor, he does connection with President Kufuor every month. They shipped $40 to $60 million worth of gold. It was aired on Al Jazeera. The president threatened that he was going to sue. If it is today that the president is going to sue, then we don't know. So why are you pretending? We must tell the president not stop the Galamsey, and you'll be okay.
All right. Interesting. What also with you?
I think Solo has dealt quite well with both topics. And I'm aware of time. Each of those topics is a day in itself, let alone the two together in 5 minutes. But suffice it to say, I don't know. Let me just take Baba Yara sports. Baba Yara on its own, and make this observation. It has been renovated, I am informed, no less than 5 times alone. The Baba Yara Stadium alone has been renovated 5 times with millions of taxpayers' money in the last 6 years. 2019, 2020, 2021, 2023, and May 2024. So
In May this year.
So you ask yourself, what type of renovation? And
That's a good question.
Yes, what type of renovation? Because if in May 2024 it was renovated, and we cannot play ball in September 2024, what type of renovation?
I have the answer to that, by the way, if you'll allow me. So I'm a football person, so I follow football a lot. So what happened was that the pitch was terrible, and I mean to call it terrible means that the grass was yellow. It was yellow. It was yellowish instead of the normal green.
So it wasn't being watered.
Yes, it wasn't being watered. But there's a lot more to it than just the grass. There needs to be a level playing field.
Yes.
So what happened was that there are a lot of complaints from Ghanaians. Oh, look at the yellow grass. So what they did was that they went to spray the grass.
Sprayed?
Yes, they sprayed it.
Or water it?
They sprayed it. I think. Didn't you see this
cesspit
tank?
Yes.
They came with a cesspit tank, and they came to
green.
You know that? But see, there's a lot more goes to it than just the greening of the grass.
The next question. All these renovations of all these house stadia, who has the contracts? That is another issue.
Yeah.
You have to just dig small, and you find that friends and family are playing parts in this matter. We gave them 200 million to do a complete new stadium for Legon, for the CAF, CAF Games. Instead of adding the stadium, there should be a football stadium full in that renovation. They rather diverted some of the money to the stadium I've just talked about. Our Accra Sports Stadium, Kumasi, They diverted some of the money, small. And obviously the work wasn't done.
Yeah.
And they haven't built the stadium. You suppose that's against other countries who have had only 250 million, 220, and you see what they have done, you marvel. Only in Ghana that we can't see where you've done your tracks and your things for athletics, but the football field,
Zero.
So, I mean, I asked the question at the beginning, Bless. What works, or what are they? I was at Durban where the vice president was speaking, and I was sad. His whole campaign message is free SHS. You cannot talk of anything else. They are still trying to use free SHS to win election. You have been in power 8 years. The free SHS that has question marks on it, let's leave it.
Maybe time didn't permit him. If you give him more.
All the issues that must be talked about, Galamsey, healthcare. Look, it's only in Ghana that somebody has given you free drugs and you refuse to clear it at the port. I mean, you just look. The MPP must go. No, let's not play with it. MPP must go. They are devoid of ideas. Have you seen the statement from the Ministry of Lands, the minister on Galamsey? The president has now announced a 5-member commission. Hey, Radze. Look, you have a whole committee that was set up, interministerial committee.
Yeah.
Your Fifo Boateng has done a fantastic report. You have sacked him from the party indirectly because of it. You don't want to do anything with him because he says he's exposing you people and whatnot. The answer is in your hand. You are refusing to act, and you are now come to set up a 5-member committee, 3 months to election, to do what? To do what? Apart from go and take their tea and biscuit money. What else are they come to do? 1 minute military is in, the next minute they should be out. Then your whole man is telling you that when you see a military officer, fight him, take him off. Then you two are somewhere saying that no, you are bringing back military. We are going, we are coming. They have no idea. And if the idea is that they have no desire, no political will, all your people are involved, how can you fix it?
Right.
Your people are involved.
Right.
Anyway.
Thank you very much. Dr. Marzouk?
Yes. The ad hoc committee is another attempt by the government to throw dust into our eyes. And I'm using the word another because there has been a previous one. In fact, that one was even numerical. It was more powerful in numerical and intellectual terms. Yeah. In terms of number, 10. There were 10. Yes. And then the quality of people involved. I mean, led by the eminent professor. So it's nothing. 2, why ad hoc? Well, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because of the timing. Perhaps a different government will come and continue. But what we need is not an ad hoc committee. And what we need is not a minister we need at the environment, the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology. It's not a protege of the president. It's a minister who can be a man of his or her own thinking, and a minister who can think beyond his or her stomach. We need a permanent, non-partisan, functional, effective, patriotic commission to handle this issue. What's salam in terms of Galamsey? Then the sports. Let me admit that I am not a football enthusiast. I was in the days of Opokunti, Mohamed Cho, Seaman, those days. I was as little as you can think, but I was a football enthusiast. Today I am not. But what I am interested in is the maintenance culture in this country. And what is happening today, that bends the hearts of people like you, the sports enthusiasts, paints the general picture of irresponsibility, lack of accountability, and impunity. And on this note, I appeal to the government, the ending one and the incoming one, to ensure that these administrative evils are tackled in the supreme interest of the state. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Bless. Kindly educate me, including your panelists. What happened in the Jumako constituency is unacceptable. You can just say, you can't just say it's human error, because the AC transferred out over 3,567 names and imported same number into the register, and you call it an error or mistake. Such a gargantuan mistake can only be found in Jim Menson's EC. Pakwesi Pakwabna Pia from a CM. Thank you, Pakwabna. This one here says the ruling party claims they spent so much on renovation at our stadia. Today, CAF has exposed our lies by banning those very stadia. If not for CAF, no Ghanaian would have known this. NDC's call for a forensic audit is a perfect decision. Ghanaians should try and be Ghanaians instead of being partisan. From Harrison in Tamale. Thank you, Harrison, for your message. I'll do two more. Communicators of the failed government should never be comparing this government to the Eswa Mahama administration, because the scorecard for Dr. Baumia is that he has, for the first time in Ghana's history, plunged our economy into bankruptcy. Asanko from Santa Maria. Thank you, Asanko. Good morning, host. NDC must recall Parliament immediately to invite EC and probe the flood register before it's too late. They must also audit the staff of EC and get rid of the MPP foot soldiers who are manipulating the electoral system to rig the aid for MPP. NDC must send shockwaves to the international community, ECOWAS, AU, and EU, and other stakeholders to alert them about the vote rigging schemes of EC and MPP. Arise Ghana and resist the oppressor's rule of the Kufuor and his looting brigade. Pa Willie, thank you, Pa Willie, for your message. There are a lot more messages, but our time is up. We need to go. Thank you, Dr. Marzouk. Thank you, Honorable Alex Egbefia. Thank you, Solomon Owusu. And to our cherished viewers, it's a Monday. All your goals, all your dreams are still valid. Make sure you go for it. I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye.